1998, Pune. My eyes scanned the mark sheet. I had been an A student throughout my life, but my body broke into a cold sweat as realization dawned. I had failed in the second year of computer engineering. The whole world around me had collapsed. Over the next 3 months, I experienced extreme pain, trauma, and embarrassment. I felt like a misfit. 2008 UK. I stared blankly at the computer screen. Outwardly, I had the perfect life. I was living in the UK, driving a nice car, working in mergers and acquisitions and acquiring companies. But inside, I felt a deep void. In the hustle and bustle of my successful life, I felt like a misfit. 2013, New Delhi. I stared at the ceiling of my plush office. Each day felt like an uphill battle. I was in a leadership role in a large family company. Yet each day I was challenged by stalwarts who doubted my capabilities and probably did not want me to succeed. I was in a war zone fighting an internal battle against my own people. I felt like a misfit. Looking back, I realized that being a misfit has been the most common theme of my life. Throughout my education, my cricketing life, my professional career, and even sometimes at home, my unwavering ability to question the conventional wisdom and challenge the status quo is what makes me a misfit. But this is exactly what has allowed me to ace my MBA despite the one of failure in engineering, win the Economic Times Leadership Excellence Award and the prestigious Brands of Asia Award for my company. It has also allowed me to scale my company 85 times in 4 years and 25 times in 2 years. In fact, at times, I feel like an outsider in my own world. I hear, I observe, I question and I challenge what has come to be accepted as conventional wisdom or gyan. It all needs to be relooked at from a fresh perspective, a new lens. Today, I will share a few such perspectives with you. It's not that they haven't been said before, written before, heard before. Probably many, many times. But today I will share with you why I believe in them, how I bring them together in my own way, and how I also imbibe them in my teams. I hope you can draw your own conclusions from them. But more importantly, I hope to leave you with loads of questions. Failure is not the best teacher. I've seen failure at close quarters more than once in my life. Now I want you to close your eyes and think about the last time you failed at something. What did that experience teach you? Zilch. Nothing. Zero. Did it not put you into a shell, reduce your self-confidence, reduce your risk-taking and decision-making capability? Failure is not the best teacher. There is no greater teacher than success. Success brings confidence, success brings recognition in society and business community, but most importantly, success breeds success. Failure only teaches you what not to do. Success teaches you what to do. We all are familiar with the 0 to 1, 1 to 10, 10 to 100, and 100 to 1000 journey of a startup or a business. Well, in my experience, failure only taught me how to cover the 0 to 1. It taught me what not to do. I built enough fail-safes in my business for it not to fail. But to cover the journey from 1 to 10, 10 to 100, and 100 to 1000, you need to know what to do. And failure doesn't teach you that, only success does. Looking back, I realize that with the limited success we've had over the last few years, that the next leg of my journey is going to be easier and the odds of success are going to be way higher. So go out there, fight for it, hustle for it, but get that success under your belt. I know a lot of you have heard this term before, most of you have heard this term before. So as I walked in over here, I ran a Google search on the term follow your passion. And it threw 53 crore results, and that's quite a bit. And I realized that the advice, follow your passion, won by a thumping majority. Even I had a passion once, a passion for cricket, and I was damn good at it. But back in the day, building a cricketing career was like taking a binary decision. You either made it or you didn't. It was a hit or a miss, a 0 or a 1, a black or a white. There were just no grays, there was no spectrum. Very early on in life, I decided that I want to do something on my own someday. But I did not want it to be a binary decision, a hit or a miss, a 0 or a 1. I wanted it to have the whole spectrum. So I moved on. I dropped my passion and went on to do economics honors. And lo and behold, in a few months, I felt like a misfit and went to do computer engineering. And by now, we all know how I barely managed to scrape through that. But as I moved on in life, I realized that I don't like these binary choices, these 0 or 1 choices, these black or white choices. I just don't. My favorite color is gray, and I love the whole spectrum between 0 and 1. I don't believe in following your passion blindly, as these passion-based careers usually don't offer the full spectrum. Follow your passion only, and I repeat, only if you have found your 50 shades of gray as I have found mine. Don't strive for the first mover advantage. Most want it, most ideate around it, and most believe that the first mover takes it all. But remember, India is a very large market. There's enough space for all. There's enough room for all. And it's not a winner-takes-it-all market by any standard. First movers do charity. At FuelBuddy, even we were first movers. It took us 18 months to navigate the regulatory landscape. Today, it takes only 3 to 6 months for a new player to navigate the same journey. We did charity. First movers do charity. What is more important is to survive. We live in a VUCA world. VUCA, V-U-C-A. Volatile, uncertain, complex, ambiguous. Survive, it is survival of the fittest. The Indian food delivery space is a very good example of this. It was a Forbes report that once published that it has been a graveyard. Around 8 years back, it was peppered. It was peppered with players, a lot of players like Ola Cafe, Uber Eats, Food Panda, Tiny Owl, and of course, Swiggy and Zomato. But you know, last year, only 2 players dominated the entire landscape, the entire market share. Swiggy and Zomato. And you know who was the largest? Yes, you're right. It is Zomato. And no, they were not the first movers in the space. So don't dream of being the first mover. Dream of survival, that's important. Be there in the end. Be a jack of all trades and master of some. The whole world around us expects us to specialize in one skill. It expects us to be an expert. Our entire education system, our unilateral roles at our jobs, everything is designed for us to specialize. But I don't believe in specializing in that one skill. I have working knowledge in a lot of fields and more than working knowledge in some. And all thanks to this one trait called curiosity. I'm a computer engineer who's never coded after college. I've set up and scaled up large projects. I don't know anything about machines. I worked in corporate finance when I didn't know the F of finance. I worked in mergers and acquisitions across continents. I've read up various acts and laws to defend legal positions. And funnily enough, I've even read a bit on astrology to have meaningful conversations with this dear friend of mine on his favorite subject. But all of these experiences added a unique capability to my arsenal. And throughout this journey, Google was a dear and ardent friend. So go out there, do some research, read a book, avoid that party if you can, avoid binge watching that show if you can. We were working on this acquisition. It was a large one, but something didn't feel right. It didn't add up, especially when we had the legal documents. It took us some time, but we managed to figure out the mismatch between the capacity utilization, the melting loss, the sales, and the profitability. And the only reason we were able to do that was because of the varied financial, legal, and operational skills that we had in our arsenal. And as a project lead, I was able to bind it all together. But it's not easy. It's a lot of hard work. You have to burn the midnight oil. Am I a CA? No. Am I a company secretary? No. Am I an engineer, a cricketer, an astrologer, a lawyer? No. The answer is a big no. I am none of these, but I am some of these. What I mean to say is I have a little bit of these in me, and that's what shapes the person that I am today. And I'm happy to say that my team today realizes the advantage of having these cross-functional skills in their arsenal. And I'm very proud to say that I'm a generalist in many trades. and a master in some. Plan, 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 or don't. I'm not saying planning is not important. It is. But let me ask you this one question. Did anyone predict the COVID-19 crisis or the impact that would have on their business and the business projections? Or for that matter, did they predict the 2008 crisis or demonetization or the Ukraine war? Well, if they did, they need to meet this astrologer friend of mine. It's a match made on Tinder, made in heaven. About a decade back, maybe a little more, one of the big four consultancy firms, I don't want to name them, along with the Society of Indian Automobile Manufacturers, and that's quite a mouthful, published a report which basically said that the car sales in India would go up from 2.2 million units in 2009 to about 5.1 million units in 2015 to about 9 million units in 2020. They basically gave a range of 8.7 to 9.7 million. I'm using 9 million as an easy placeholder. Do you know how many cars we sold in the financial year 2023? Only 3.8 million units. Yes, absorb this. That's just 1/3 of the volume that was projected for 2020. Now think, what if everyone, especially everyone in the auto industry, had planned all their decisions, based all the investment decisions on these forecasts? Your answer is the same as mine. Plans usually never go as per plan. And budgets are based on assumptions, and assumptions are exactly what they mean, assumptions. Mine are only as good as yours. There was this great book I read once called Rework, and it had this line, business plans are like fortune selling. Who knows what will happen in 5 years or 10 years, or even 3 years? I don't for sure. Change happens, shift happens, shit happens. You can at best write the paradigm of your business, but the paradigm will shift. Hence, I always maintain that strategy is not static, it is dynamic. It has to change. It has to change with time, it has to change with conditions, and it has to pivot with each change, one small step at a time. And as it shifts, you need the space to navigate. You need the whole spectrum. I don't make detailed, elaborate, long-term plans. I don't believe in them. I encourage my team members, rather I encourage everyone to make agile strategies. It is true. My life has been testimony to the power of challenging all, believing some, and dismissing most of the age-old ideas. I believe in learning from success. I enjoy all my 50 shades of grey. I don't believe in the first mover advantage. I believe in being jack of all trades and master of some. And I don't make detailed, elaborate, long-term plans. And yet, one of the biggest achievements of my journey so far has been the fact that I've been able to inspire my team and maybe a few others to challenge the status quo and become misfits. And that, my friends, has been the journey of me creating a band of misfits from one. On a great day, I'm a challenger and a misfit throughout the year. Yet every time I'm in doubt, I wonder, why should I try to fit in when I was born to stand out? So for all you challengers out there, for all of you who like to break the rules and all you misfits out there, remember this world wasn't created for you. You have the power to create new disruptions wherever you go, create new paradigms wherever you go, and create new worlds wherever you go. Thank you.